right, we're back here. We got it this year. Do you know who I am? Do you know who this guy is right here? You talk about Hellboy? This ain't Hellboy. Okay? Forget about that guy that eats bats on the rock and roll. I eat bats every day. Okay, we got a special guest right here. Right here. Silvertone. Silvertone is here. Right here, Silvertone. He's here, and we're going to bring you some great news from the Boston Garden. All right, we're back here. The legends of the Boston Garden, better known as the Memories. I call them the legends. We got the best EPW. We got legends of EPW. We got this show. It's another big one coming to you from Saugus TV. You better forget that any other show on cannot compete with this show. We got all the great things. We're getting sponsors coming in by the minutes. We got a guy from New York. He wants to come down. We got a guy from Nova Scotia who wants to come down. But you know what? This and this. That means we want money and we want to eat. That's right. Right here at Saugus TV with who? The best. We got the best crew. We got all these calls from MTV. We got that guy Charles, or that the girl Charles. We got the other guy. We got the other one calling. He's pulling on his head. He's calling. He wants everybody. He wants Rachel. You can't get it. She's the best. She puts those shows up like unbelievable. We got the Foxy lady too. You know, I wouldn't know who she is. Michelle Fox, baby. We got her, and we got Gregory, and we got all the great guys that are sleeking on the side that are doing. We got a guy pulling. He's pulling the rug tight right now because we don't want no nicks in it. We got Brian, the guy that runs this place, that built this place. You know, the house that Brian built. That's right. You hear about these wrestlers, they built the house? Come over here, Saugus, and see how it really is to build a place. All the nails, all the screws, all the money, all the honey right here. Now let's get right to it right here with the opening of Memories of the Boston Garden. All right, we're back here. We got a great guy right here. This guy, Butcher Hughes. This man, he was born on January 13th, 1959, passed away. Oh yeah, he passed away December 6th, and it was 2021. He was from Salem. He went to Salem High School. Did a lot of work as at the hospitals. He did a lot of clown work. He put the clown suit on. He went to Chicago. He helped out the food banks, the hungry food banks. He ate all the food. Then he went and got some more. He used to wrestle as Lulon Doon. He was Killer Kowalski's first partner. He was a very great friend of mine. He was funny. He'd call me up and tell me what's on TV. He'd say, hey, what's on UFC? This is on, that is on. And he was like my little TV guy, and I sort of miss him. It's been quite some time, and he's a great guy. He's going to be missed by all the people of the Wrestling Society. Everybody knew him. He was Walter Kowalski's first student, and he's going to be greatly missed right here. All right, and we want to mention one more thing on another person that had passed away, a great Japanese wrestler, Antonio Inoki, and he was born in 1943. He died this year. 2022, and he was 79. I'm getting wingle, got it 79 years old. He was a great wrestler. I've seen two great matches, one in Madison Square Garden with Antonio Inoki, as you can see this figure, if you can zoom in on the cameraman. Antonio Inoki, and he wrestled the Sheik, and he also wrestled, I believe it was Bill Eadie in Japan as the Masked Superstar, and it was a great match. Two of the great matches I've seen with Antonio Inoki, and here he is right here. We got it right here. You can look on some sites, you might be able to find this one. You got another one, if you're lucky to get it, because right now that's going for $13,000.45. And basically, anyone that wants to buy it, look me up, call me up, get my phone number. My phone number's on every place in McDonald's, Burger King. It's on all the signs. I put my business cards on all of them, you know.
Bathroom walls.
Search Rocky Raymond on YouTube. That's right, you pencil neck geeks. If you want to see the best, forget the rest. If you want to see real wrestling, not the baloney that they're watching on TV now. I'm talking about real old-time wrestling. I'm talking about guys like Fitzpatrick, what's his name there? Guido Mongo, all those guys from the Boston Garden. We're going to go to the part of the program right now, and we're going to show you some programs from the Boston Garden, and we're going to talk to our special guest, and we're going to tell you all the things that he knows about the Boston Garden. Superstar, another great victory. Here at the great Matt Classic. There's a bloody strongbow, and the ring attendants, Mike Benasky, and referee there, Spada. Pair of aces taking strongbow out. All right, we're back here. We got a special guest this week. This man's been all over the coast. He's been in the Boston Garden for many, many years with all the announcers, his uncles, such and such and such. And we are going to show some great pictures with this man, Mr. Mike Benasky.
Thank you, Rocky. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Hey, what are you going to do here?
Quite an intro there. Thank you. Thank you.
Scratch your back for you, see?
Yeah, that's
we
great,
do these
Rocky.
things here. All right, we're going to go to the couple of programs. I'm going to show some pictures here. And we go up to the first one. I believe that's the one. That's the first one right there with the fabulous Moolah and Guido Mongo. That's right. The date was Saturday night, December 12th, the wrestling program for the World Championship. Bruno Sammartino versus Guido Mongo. That's right. And we had a women's world championship, too. The fabulous Moolah against Vicky Williams. We also had Beppo Mongo against Victor Rivera, the Puerto Rican champion. Ivan Koloff, the Russian bear. That's right. And he met Tony Dino Marino. John L. Sullivan later became Johnny Valiant versus Johnny Rodz. Terry Yorkston beat Bull Pomenti, better known as Vincente Promenti. And we had Mr. Farkas meet Pete Sanchez, and Mike Conrad beat Thomas Marin. First bout starts at 8:30. And that was one of the great battles of the Boston Garden. And I believe we have the next one. The next one would be Monday, December 16th, wrestling program. The main event was a Texas Deathmatch tag team. Bruno Sammartino and Haystack Calhoun. He met Gorilla Monsoon and Rocky Fitzpatrick, which was the grandfather of Bob Orton Jr. and Bob Orton Sr. Special bout, the Sheik, the original Sheik. He met Spiros Arion. Killer Kowalski, the man with the iron claw. He wrestled Bull Ramos, Kentucky Butcher. He met Dominic DeNucci. And the tag team special, 2 out of 3 falls, Tony Altamori and Captain Lou Albano. And he went against Victor Rivera and Pete Sanchez, Baron Cicluna, and Big Chuck Addercock versus, and then we had a last match, big match, Johnny Rodz versus Carlos Colon. You believe Carlos Colon came to New York City? And that was another great match from the Boston Garden. All right, we're back here. You want to hear some more? We're going to give it to you right here, Madison Square Garden. That's right, November 7th, 1966. The attendant was 14,159. Worldwide Wrestling Federation heavyweight title match. Bruno Sammartino beat the Bulldog Brower. Hey, we're going to get that Pedro. I'm going to get that Pedro Bulldog. You know the Bulldog. Bobo Brazil drew Big Bill Miller in 20 minutes. Baron Mikel Cicluna and Smasher Salone beat Antonio Pugliese and Louis Jourdain. That's that phony cousin of Bruno's, Antonio Pugliese. And then you had Ikea, that's right, Gino Brito and Louis Jourdain. They all switched their names. Every time they switched a girl, they switched their names. All right. And what we got here? El Toro, a.k.a. Jesse Ortega, beat Miguel Perez. Argentina Paulo beat Roberto Gonzalez. The Mighty Men, the Little Boys, Little Beaver and the Jamaica Kid beat Sky Low and Billy the Kid. Tank Morgan, that's right, he beat Ricky Sexton in Madison Square Garden in 5 minutes and 28 seconds. How you daughters, Ricky Sexton's in town. Mr. Clean, that's right, he beat them all. He beat Tony Nero, which later became the Black Demon. And that was another battle for Madison Square Garden. Wrestling in the Garden, the battles for New York. Works, shoots, and double crosses. That's right. All right, we're back here. We're going to come back with the great stuff from the Boston Garden. I got to check on my wife back here, you know. Listen, you better keep your hands off my wife. I take her out once a year. And another thing, you better shut your mouth and just sit there because you're here for the rest of the show. I'll put you back in the casket. And you better get talking right now with the man, with the reflection of perfection coming in your direction with all sorts of pictures from the garden, all sorts of stories. You got it. Mike Benasky.
Well, thanks, Rocky. Thanks for having me on.
I've been so looking forward to doing this show for such a long time. We set it up for Halloween. We had a great meal. We want to thank New Bridge Cafe again, all the great food he sent up, and they got a salad dressing. Go down there, great stuff. You got all the great food down there, all the great people down there. You got my friend Mike down there. No, his name's not Mike, is it? It's Mark. What's the matter with you, Mark Mandrake? Your Mike's over here. Mark's down there, and I'm over here. I'm drunk. I'm drinking this stuff. Don't forget to watch us on every time we got these shows coming on. We got them on YouTube. We got them on Saugus TV, Lynn TV, Salem TV, Malden TV, your sister's TV. Get your brother off those dirty chat lines and watch Memories of the Boston Guard. All right, Mike, go ahead. It's all you.
Well, Rocky, what do you want to talk about?
You
want to
shoot the picture. We're going to talk about the pitches. We're going to shoot your pitches, and you're going to tell us what they are.
All right. Well, there's my uncle Bob Gerard refereeing. That's how I got into the business, because he was a referee when I was a kid. So this was the Lowell Auditorium, I believe.
Lowell Memorial Auditorium. That's an old one, boy.
Yeah, Morales against Cicluna. Mike Cicluna.
Marin against Strongbow against Cicluna. Wow, that's an old. Didn't they do over that Lowell Memorial Auditorium, Mike?
I think they did it over, yeah. But he used to run there in the summer a lot. We used to go there a lot in the summertime.
Yeah, I remember we did a lot of the. We've been doing a lot of shows. If you're watching the other shows that we got going on, the best of the best, with my man that does all the producing and scanning and all the stuff, and he's faster than a whip. We did like 6 ICW shows. I didn't do 6 shows in Revere in 2 years. And I did 6, 7, 10 shows here at this particular place between the speed of the particular person, Anthony. He's a great editor, and he does all sorts of work here. I mean, he does the shooting of the games, he does this, whatever needs to be done. He doesn't sit around and go like playing with his fingers. He's always doing something. And Brian, as you well know, the house that Brian built right here. And of course the other employees too, John. Yep, John Graphics we call him, and we got Foxy Lady now, Michelle Fox, and of course the incredible Rachel, who does all the scheduling of the shows that are on. And that's a very, very hard job to do that from week in and week out. But we got it going on here. I sort of miss Revere a little bit, but not so much. Feel more like family, and I've only been here, I've been in Saugus for 10 years now, of course, but I got sort of used to doing Revere, but they turned it into a private organization. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, shoot it out there.
There's my uncle with Lou Albano, one of the mainstays of the locker room, and the funniest guy in there.
Is that Boston Garden?
Yeah, that's the Boston Garden, yep.
And that's Albano? There's Lou Albano. Yep.
And Angelo Savoldi and my uncle.
Angelo Savoldi.
They were very friendly, yeah.
That was your uncle that did all the.
Yeah, there he is with Snooker.
Jimmy the Superfly.
Yep. As me with Walter, and before that was at the Garden too. Bulldog Brower.
Take the Bulldog.
Yep.
Terrorist. Was he in with the KKK?
That's what I heard. I heard he was, yeah. George Steele.
George the Animal Steele, unbelievable
He's still
stories.
teaching school.
Well, we want to hear some stories. What about George Steele? Did you ever catch him in doing any weird stuff in the dressing room? And
No, but he was
young. Yeah, that was a very young.
Tommy McNeely. I don't know if you know the name Tommy McNeely.
Of course I do. The referee. Tommy
He refereed.
McNeely. He was a boxer, the New England champion.
He fought Marciano or somebody for the title, and his son fought Tyson for the title. McNeely was a roommate in college of George Steele.
Do you think he's
at
still
Michigan
alive, Tom
State.
McNeely? Because
No,
I think
he's
he was
dead.
from Scituate.
No, he died.
I know he was from Scituate because I dated a girl from Scituate once. Yeah, okay. And
So they were very friendly. They were always
Sure.
friendly. So when Steele came here, they always did some kind of a referee angle. Like one day, Steele bit McNeely's arm in the match, and then McNeely had the bandage the rest of the night on, to put each other over a little bit. It's pretty good. Back in the day. Oh, there's me with Francine from ECW. Was also the ECW promoter for
All
New
right, well,
England,
tell us
too.
some stories. You're telling them who they were, what you're doing, but did you ever catch a, getting, frisky with Shane Douglas in the dressing room? Because
No, I never seen anything
Shane
like
Douglas?
that. No, I never seen anything like that with her. No, I haven't.
Nothing happening with her. No
Nothing
good
with
stories?
her. No,
Okay,
no.
we don't want to go into these stuff, but we
Oh,
got
I can tell you one of the
Taz.
best ribs I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
You want to hear that?
Go ahead.
It's Gorilla Monsoon and Coogie McFarland. Coogie McFarland was an old boxer from the 40s and 50s. Back then, everybody changed their name when they were boxing. Italians changed to Jewish, Jewish changed to this, Italians changed to Irish, Irish changed to Italian. So his real name was Bevilacqua.
Bevilacqua.
His real name, but he went by the name of Coogie McFarland.
So was he Greek?
He was Italian. His last name was Bevilacqua. He was real good friends with Phil Zacco, who had part of the business with Vince back then, the years ago.
Yeah, he ran with territory. Whenever they did a cage match in Boston, they'd bring in Phil Zacco. He'd be walking around while they were setting up the piece.
And Coogie had used a cane, an old wooden cane,
Right.
that had the rubber tip on the end of it that you could take off. So Monsoon, every couple of weeks, when they'd come and do the loop up here, he'd take his knife and he'd cut a little bit of the cane off the bottom, put the rubber thing back on again. So Coogie started after about 4 months. He was 4 inches shorter than the cane, and he was wondering what his back was so sore. My back is killing me. It's hurting me. So Monsoon at the Garden one night brought one of those steel canes with you could move the things. When they first come out, the real nice steel canes, and gave it to him and broke the old one.
The adjustable one.
Yeah, and then he told Coogie, of course, what they did to him. But that was one of the best ribs I ever saw.
Well, the best ribs I ever saw, and cameraman, zoom in, because the best ribs I ever had was at the New Bridge Cafe, and it wasn't a rib like a wrestling rib. It was a nice long rack of ribs, better than anywhere I've gone over, better down in the Florida, Bobby Rubino's House of Ribs. You got the place that closed down. New Bridge Cafe. You want the best ribs, go down there. That's all I got to say, and I'm telling you, I'm still full from that food. Tasted great. How was yours, all right?
Excellent, excellent, very good.
Thank you again, Mark. Thank you again with all the great things, and let's get on to another one. Andre the Giant, you got to have some stories about this grobbler.
Yeah, he was very good friends. I met him the first time he came in. And my uncle was French, and he was French, so they got along very well. He came in with Frank Valois the first night. He was like his handler. And he disappeared after a couple of years. I don't know what happened to him.
Well, he went back. Well, when I went to Canada, when Kowalski sent us to Canada for TV, it was me, I think John Callahan, maybe I'm going to say Butcher Hughes. It was me and Butcher Hughes up in Canada, and Shorebrook at the studio. The tag team match was Rocky Raymond and Butcher Hughes against the Hangman and Sweden, the big guy. What was his first name? Sweden? Not Sweetan, Sweden. Whatever, the big guy. He was big. He wrestled forever. But I could hear in the commentators.
Swede Hansen?
Yeah, Swede Hansen, that was it, yeah. And I could hear the commentators. And who was in the corner? Eddie Kretschmann. And they got Kevin in the corner, Eddie Kretschmann puffing on that cigar, and the smoke's coming out, pop, 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 pop. And all of a sudden I see Eddie Kretschmann. He put it right on the side of the head of Kevin Hughes, and it was lit. Let me tell you, it was lit. And then the commentator, when I got tagged in, and Rocky Raymond scoops up that Hangman, that French accent. But we went up there and we made TV. I think it was $125. I came back and Walter, you're gonna give me some money. What are you done? The food was bad up there. The baked potatoes were hard, and the money was the shits. And you want a percentage? I said, see you later. But going back to all those days up there, I mean, you gotta have some great. What's your best story of the Boston Garden, the one that drew it out? And you got to tell us how you started at the Boston Garden, too. What was your first job there? Who got you in? What was your position? How did you make your way up the ladder to walk out with Bruno Sammartino? Because all the clips we have, we got our guy he took some clips there we got you walking out of cage matches, giving the belt, taking the belt. Tell us your best Boston Garden memory right here at Saugus TV. And say it nice and loud because you're really proud. And guess what? I just watched the news and white lives matter.
Well, I don't know what my favorite moment was, but I can tell you what happened with Bruno that probably edged him into retirement for the last time. I got a story about that to tell you.
Go right ahead.
It was the night Bruno and David wrestled in the tag team against Lou Albano and somebody else. I forget who the other guy was. And it was the night where David cut his arm. Remember he cut his arm with Albano?
I'm sure that
Albano had the gig on his finger.
Yeah.
And David mistakenly picked him up to slam him, and his finger caught his arm.
Yeah.
And he went back to the dressing room and had to go to the hospital. Anyway, back to the hotel at night. There was a party up at one of the rooms in the hotel, and I met Bruno at I don't know what happened to David. He must have went back to the room, but Bruno went to the hospital with him and came back. And Bruno was in the lobby. And all night, all he was complaining about was he wanted to see Ken Patera. Ken Patera was on that card. And Ken Patera was just out of it the whole night. He was drugged up or something. And Bruno never could talk to him. And he was pissed off about that. He didn't know what was happening. Well, anyway, I said, Bruno, there's a party upstairs with the girl rats and everything having a thing. I said, why don't you come up and relax, have a beer? And so he said, all right, I'm going to go up. So we went up to the party. We opened the door. There was 2 rooms. They had beer. There must have been 100 people in the room. And they had the old black TV from the hotel, the old black TV on the desk. And on the TV, on the desk of the TV, was all lines of cocaine set up. So I said,
I wouldn't go any further unless you want to end up like me.
You better shut your mouth. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
who was that?
That's my
I thought that was Abe Ford for a minute there.
Abe Ford.
Jesus.
Could have been Kowalski.
Interrupted. Well, anyway, I said to Bruno, I said, look at Bruno. Look at what's over here. So immediately, he went crazy. Let's get out of here. Let's go. So he said goodbye to everyone and left.
Well, he should have did a couple of bumps.
And down the hallway, he said,
a couple of bumps, Bruno.
thank God I left, because what happens if the cops came and they came and I'm in that room? You get pissed off.
Sure, back in those
And
days.
I think that was one of the last times I saw him, because he wasn't around that much anymore. He retired shortly after that. And I'm sure the Patera thing and that had something to do with him just saying, I've had enough of this.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He got very bitter. I stayed close to him. Not too many people go to Bruno Sammartino's house. We're going to show you in weeks to come a couple autograph sessions and stuff and things. But Bruno invited me to his house. He was going to a wedding that day, and I took a bucket full of stuff. He was signing my stuff from the time I was in his parlor to the time I left, and then back at a couple of things. And then he did take some of my films from the Boston Garden, and he was going to do that big documentary on him. But once they got done with them with the Hall of Fame, and then they quit, that was the end of the situation with using my footage for the biography that they were going to have on Bruno, whatever they're going to have. It just went down the shitter with that idiot Ben Brown, with whatever his name is. I'd like to work there for a week just to turn his neck around. I don't know, I'm only going to use 3 minutes of the film. 3 minutes? You know how many? Bruno made this place. Bruno built this foundation. Without Bruno, there'd be no foundation. There'd be no WWF or WWF, WWE. There'd be nothing, because he kept it going. If you read some of these cards, the stars ain't like now, 25 names on the cards, but Bruno was the foundation, and they don't realize what they had, and they're just wiping out the good things on the wrestling. The wrestling's ridiculous. How much longer are you going to push a couple of Samoans? If it's not the Samoans, it's the dark guys. I've never seen so many dark guys. And when I wrestled, there was one guy in each territory. I went to Florida. Sugar Brown was there. Then when he left, someone else came in. Bobo Brazil was in.
It's a completely different world now, Rocky, you're living in. As soon as Vince exposed the business, that was it.
Well, they didn't know. All right, let's shoot some more of those pictures up of Mike. Oh, that's
there's ECW. Cronus passed on. Paulie. The Eliminators, Paul and me.
Yeah.
In the combat zone.
Wow, that was a great. Bet you that was a great ride. Tell us a little bit about that, since we're on the picture. We got some posters. We're going to shoot a couple up If we got the time, we're trying to get the 2 on. We'll flip it going.
Yeah.
We'll keep it going and see if we can. Get
Actually, when you think about it, I've been involved in 2 of the biggest angles in the history of Boston wrestling. The Blackjack Mulligan stabbing, I took him out of the ring, and the New Jack incident, 2 of the biggest in history.
Was that in Boston?
That was in Revere.
Oh, the Revere thing. Yeah, I was there too that night. Matter of fact, I got the picture of it. I showed these guys here. The guy going out on the, what was his name? Cool or something?
Yeah,
T-Man.
Mass Transit.
And,
Mass Transit.
I'm not one to really talk about dead people, but I'm glad New Jack is gone because he was nothing but a punk, troublemaker, didn't know a wrestling hold, only knew how to jump off buildings when after he did like an 8-ball of coke before he went out, and jump off tables or whatever. And he was very, I don't know how people even booked him. I mean, that's how you can tell wrestling has changed because back in the day, if you had any kind of antics like that, you would never get booked. Never get booked. But they booked him and they kept him, and even Jim Cornette booked him down there in Smoky Mountain. Another quack.
New Jack wasn't as bad as everybody makes him out to be.
Well, he put on a little front. He put the front
He put
on.
a front on. He was
He
a
would never
very
done
nice
that.
guy. He stayed in our room in ECW for a couple of nights. No problems at all. I'd have him in my house with my kids and everything. New Jack, great guy.
I don't
Great guy.
respect. I don't respect the thing he did for the business, and I don't like when they call it a business. Anyways, I like to think of it as a profession because that's what it was when I broke in. All right, let's shoot those pictures up. Let's rock and roll and get some good more stories out of them now. Who's this now?
That's Taz.
That's Taz,
Taz
my
and
buddy
Fonzie.
Taz. Yep.
Yep.
We got to shoot that Taz picture up there with Tony
Yep.
Rumble too.
And there's me with Moolah.
Moolah, what are you doing? Taking her on a date?
Yeah, well, I've known her all my life, Moolah. Her daughter lived with my uncle in Somerville on Willow Ave.
Really?
Yeah. When she was having marital problems with the promoter there. The one she married.
Didn't he marry?
She married.
Didn't she marry some kind of country western guy?
Yeah, he was a promoter. He was a country western promoter.
Well, speaking about country western, just to not interrupt you, but we've got to give our condolences to the girl that died last night, Lynn.
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter. And if anyone is listening, if you can tell me what the first song that she wrote, email it to Brian or somebody. I'll send you a picture of myself.
Oh, wow.
Autograph. Going to be worth
That's
about
a great
$10,
gift.
$15. It's a great gift.
It's got to be worth hundreds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we got a whole bunch of them. But go ahead, keep going on with the stories here. We got to get rocking and rolling.
There's
Kowalski.
Walter.
Walter and Paul and
Yeah.
you, huh?
Well,
Wow,
that's
all
nice
dressed
hair.
up. Look like you're going to a wedding.
This is nice hair.
Yeah, it's nice.
Bruno was mad at Walter for a couple of years because Walter convinced Bruno to get the hair job, and he never told Bruno that he had to go back every 2 weeks and get it tightened up again. And he was hot about that.
Yeah, well, when I went to Bruno's house, I told him, shave your head, and that's exactly what he did. He shaved his head like us, so to speak. But, yeah, it's too bad. Very well missed. Too bad he started up again, and, like I said, nobody goes to Bruno's house, not even Arnold Skolin. But you know something? They needed me for something. So guess what? Hotel, put me up, fly me in, go to your house. But that was it. After that, they gave me the kibosh. I don't think Bruno did because I talked to him on the phone. Matter of fact, I got a tape of him. He's talking about the Hall of Fame and Hunter S. Helmsley. After they talked him into the Hall of Fame, they just,
I'm really glad that Bruno went to the Hall of Fame, though. He deserved it. I'm glad he got it before
well,
he
he
died.
should have been the first one in, actually.
Koloff should get in, too, but he'll never get in.
No, because he put his name on that list along with Patera and all those other guys. They thought they were
Well,
going to make a big payday with the insurance company.
Years ago, Koloff and a couple other guys held up Vince Sr. for money, and Vince never forgot that.
Well, I think that's something to do with that petition they had, too, about
What, the concussion? Wow, that stuff happened way before that.
Cronus and Perry.
Yep. I still talk to Perry every week.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can
Cronus
get him
passed
up here
on.
sometime. I don't know if he'd be
There's the
much of-
Warrior.
That the Ultimate Warrior, is that Kerry Von Erich?
No, that's the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, okay.
That was one of Wendell Weatherby's shows.
Oh, come into my limo.
And there's Shane when we did the ticket sales in Burlington.
Yeah, I remember. I took a
Oh,
picture
no,
like that.
it's the Square One Mall, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was at the final score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is that still there, Final Score?
No. I got a
No.
picture with Shane Douglas, with you and...
I still got that
You're in the
jacket.
background of the picture, but I got a picture with Shane Douglas from
That
there.
jacket's probably worth a lot of money.
The ECW jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got one still?
I got that one that I was wearing,
Why don't
and I
you
got
bring
the
it down?
jumpsuit.
Why don't you make a donation to the Rocky Raymond
No,
Foundation?
I don't think so. I already donated enough, I think.
I know, you have.
Yeah. There's my uncle and Sky Lolo. Well, I had a lot of pictures too, but they got displaced somehow. I don't know what happened.
Who's the other guy there?
Mulligan.
Oh, that's Blackjack Mulligan, right? I was
Blackjack
at the guy
Mulligan.
that night. He wrestled Morales that night, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Monsoon was the referee.
And I got the picture of him in Madison Square Garden afterwards. You can see the scar.
And it's
boom.
funny. It's
That
funny
long
in that.
scar down his leg.
It's funny when he get back to the dressing room and he laid on the bench. That whole side of him that was cut, wasn't any blood coming out of it at all.
It was so deep. That's
It
why.
was deep. It was like you were butchering a cow.
Yeah.
But he had a nick on his arm, and that was bleeding like hell. The nick on his arm.
Did they ever catch the guy that did that?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
That's awful. I mean, we did a couple of shows. What we did in trying to get in touch with Joe Gullen now, but he's usually on a lot of my shows that I've had. I mean, never one of them would be Winthrop, Revere, whatever. But we were at Manning Bowl in Lynn. And,
Manning Bowl.
And someone whipped a bottle in the ring, and it hit him right in the face. Scar, and he still got the scar. That's why he wears the beard a lot, and he got a scar going down his face. But Joe chased that kid all the way out of Manning Bowl. You could see him chasing him, and he caught him. And they arrested him or whatever they did, but he got caught doing that. A lot of crazy stuff with wrestling.
We had an ECW show one night. We had a riot at the Burlington Strike One. I think it was Strike One in Burlington. It was one of our first shows when we first started.
Yeah, well, those guys came
They
out.
all started to throw the chairs in the ring at the end of the show. And I was paying for those chairs. I rented them. Everyone that broke was on me. So we were in the whole dressing room emptied, and there was about 20 people laying out there unconscious.
From what I understand with ECW, everybody that wrestled had a job in the office too. Is that correct?
No, certain people
Well,
had
Bubba
jobs
Ray,
in the office.
Tommy Dreamer did the T-shirts.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Bubba did what I did in New York. Shane did it in Pittsburgh. Sabu had shows in Detroit.
Did they get any money, or did they all get ripped
They
off?
had the school. They had the ECW school.
That was with Taz.
Taz and Perry and
Was
Mikey
that in New
Whipper.
York? Was that in New
that
York?
was in New York, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They had that.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of crazy stuff that went on in ECW, I am sure.
Oh, yeah.
Between
That ECW arena, I'll tell you, that was something.
between Sonny in the closet with different guys.
There's my uncle with the Bill Eadie.
Bill Eadie, yeah,
and-
Demolition.
And
He's a great
Sheiky
guy.
Baby.
Favorite two guys. I booked the Sheik at the fair.
Yeah, the Sheik was
Yeah.
something.
The Sheik sold $700 worth of pictures in like 15 minutes. He still had the knack. That was going back a couple years, but
Yeah, I
and
hear
Bill
he's
Eadie's
really
been on
sick
every
now.
one of my shows. You know why Bill Eadie's been on one of my shows? Because he's dependable. You don't have to
There's
worry
Monsoon.
about drugs. You don't have to worry about him not showing up, and that's why Bill Eadie is how his longevity in wrestling has been as great as it has been, because he's a stand-up guy. But he's retired now. All the guys I use are retired. You can't get no buildings. You can't do nothing. So the end of it's tied up, unless I get to the guy that's buying.
Yeah, it's
Who's
hard
the
to
guy
do
that's
now.
buying YouTube, and what's he buying now? Something else.
Oh,
he's buying?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, we get some of his
He's
money.
buying Twitter.
We can do some things. All right, here he
Here's
is.
New Jack.
New Jack, you grobbler. Cut that guy's head open like that. You know he's not.
Did you
having-
see the match when he had with Gypsy Joe?
Fabulous Moolah? Yeah, I saw that one. He beat the hell out of that old guy.
Yeah. Well, he didn't sell. The old man didn't sell. What are you going to do?
Oh, I wouldn't so far me.
There's Moolah. I think that was 1957.
1957. I was born in 58.
Somewhere
Don't
around
hesitate.
here.
Fabulous Moolah. When did she switch to women?
Huh?
Oh boy.
There's Mel Simons, Coogie, my uncle, and Jazzo the Clown.
Oh, you didn't know that she was a switch hitter? Boom.
John Morocco.
The Rock, Don Morocco. I
guy.
looked a little bit like him today when I come in from
Yeah.
bringing the food. I went to go see
You
it.
look
All about
exactly
hair.
like him without your makeup on.
All hair, all about hair. Yeah. Well, you know, we got a lot of great things to keep going on in here. I know we're gonna make another hour. We got about 12 minutes left.
There's
We're gonna
Roddy
keep going.
Piper.
Roddy Piper with who? That the Wizard?
That's my uncle.
Oh, it's your uncle.
Yep.
Wow.
He took over the announcing when George Linehan
Sky
retired.
low, low.
Sky Low Low and Little Brutus, I think.
Pick me up. Pick me up. pick you up. You smell like
There's a
drunk.
very historic picture right there. There's Popeye. That was Chris Candido's grandfather.
Chuck Richards.
Chuck Richards. And in the middle is the late Bobby Shane.
Bobby Shane.
6 months before his plane crash.
Was that in the Boston area?
That was at Boston Garden. He made one appearance here.
Wow.
Vince a lot of guys used to fly in from Europe or Japan or something, and they'd always used to stop to Boston before they went back to home. Vince always booked them there. A lot of people come in. Kyle Gotch came in one time. There was a lot of guys that came in for one shot.
Could you spare
There's Abe again.
for this hungry soul?
Listen, be good. We got some leftovers in the kitchen. That guy's really noisy today, isn't he? This
He
guy?
is noisy. Yeah,
Bruno
there's Bruno.
Sammartino.
There's Bruno.
Picking
That's
up
when he had his hair.
A tutti italiani. Say a couple of words in Italian, Bruno. I always wanted to do that. I got it on. I got one clip. I got two clips. One about.
He said the same thing every time.
Yeah,
in
and you know
Italian.
what? It's on every one of my shows about 1,000 times too.
Yep.
I think I drive my buddy crazy. Can you get the one with Bruno talking Italian? That was my dream, you know. And I got to Bruno's house and I said, "Wow, I can't believe I'm at Bruno's house. I've been going to the garden and this and that, and then I got friends."
Now,
with
how
him.
many years was that before he died? Were you there?
I'm probably gonna have to check out a picture that might have a date on it, but it was a while back because he still had his hair, you know, pulled back and stuff like that.
Oh, he
But,
still had the wig on and everything?
No, he had his original hair, but then I talked him into shaving it like my hair do, and that's exactly what he ended up doing. All right, you gotta see us on YouTube. You gotta see us. You gotta see us. You gotta see us. You gotta see us. Saugus TV #1, bear none. We got it all short and tall. We got the lights. We got it tight. We got a green screen. We got a blue screen. We got your sister's screen. We got it all right here at Saugus TV. So come on down. You want to do a show? How about making your own meal? Come on down, make a meal. We got the kitchen. That's right. We got it all right here. We got a room. You want to have a meeting? You want to have a meeting with me? You want to hire a wrestling show? You want to make some money? Forget about it. But anyways, we're back right here, better than ever, at the Memories of the Boston Guy. And let's shoot up. We got any more pictures with Mike? Oh, you got me now with Ox Baker. I got to do a talking.
Yeah,
now.
there
See?
you are, Rocky.
Ox Baker. Look at Ox Baker. That was, I believe, I am going to say, that's California. Yeah, because I was very young and scared shaking his hand because he was no joke. And then the other one is with Bruiser Brody, Gary Hart, and myself at Lowell Memorial Auditorium with Big Bruiser Brody. Great God.
Was that Gordon Scolzari show?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I remember that.
I think
I
it
was
was.
there.
No. I think that might have been ICW.
Sheik
no,
was
no,
there.
no. That was ICW with Mario. No,
Oh,
that was
all
with
right.
Mario. Yeah, they bring Brody in, and they brought Barry Windham in, Blackjack Mulligan, Purple Haze, Kevin Sullivan. They did the whole lineup. If you watch any of my 1 to 6 shows, they're unbelievable. They're getting some great ratings. And no one's got ICW footage because I don't think it's out there. Well, it might be, but it might be shitty material, shitty, quality. My quality is fair to good, some of the stuff. But we did 6 shows with my man Anthony, and we did them so fast. I don't want to say it, but he's pretty quick, and he's not related to Nestle's, but he is quick. And he's got it going on. He's a great guy. He does all the shit here and doing all the stuff with me. Putting up with me is a big deal to begin with, but I give it back to him. He gives it to me, I give it back. I got Brian, the referee, and I got the girls that want to jump in and pull my hair. No, you can't pull my hair unless I wear the wig. I got the wig every now and then, but I'm going to let you wear the wig one of these times, one of these dates.
I'm not wearing a wig. No
What
way.
made you shave your head? That's what I want to know.
No hair.
You were pretty,
No hair.
You were pretty like they come to my.
It's nice and shiny, right?
Good. You look great tonight.
Thank you.
You're cleaned up. You
I
got
feel tremendous.
You got your Guido Mongo trimmed and everything, and that's great.
Yes, sir.
So we got any more pictures, or what do we got? Do we got that Tony Rumble picture in there somewhere? No. All right. We got Perry Satin right here. We did a show with her, and then on the other side we got The Fallen Angel with Rocky Raymond, and believe me, Fred Blassie. Classy Freddie Blassie at the Olympic Auditorium. Big payday there. $35 on a. You want to get booked next week for 20? No, went home. There it is. Tony Rumble. Miss him too. In memory of Tony Rumble. That's when Taz just started. You know, when the Taz shirt.
Yep.
Today. That's when Taz just started, and he had a good thing going on. Tony jumped in, manager. That was ICW. But Taz, I got to have a little respect for him because that's always something I wanted to do after I wrestled. I wanted to commentate and fit in, but he must got the in, and he's got his son wrestling, and all the things are going on. And maybe I'll get a call to AEW and say, get rid of Taz, I'm a better commentator. And then there's the other guy there with the mask on. He talks so fast, you can't even... Oh boy, you know he's faster than whatever. But I don't know where they got him. I mean, and then you got the other one there that was for WCW. He don't have it no more. They pushed him down on the floor on one of the shows. It was awful. It was awful. It really was. It started out good, but
Tony Schiavone.
Tony
Is that who you're talking about?
Tony Schiavone, yeah. He's still making the money. He's making the money, the money. Yeah, making good money. You never know. I'm not that old yet. Hey, I'm only 45.
You know what you can do? Send them this tape. I'm sure they'll hire you.
Let me tell you something.
Once they get a load of this.
Well, they got a load of a lot of things here, believe me. But anyways, we got any more pictures up there? What do we got left? Anything?
What do we got left?
Are we
up
dried
there?
out? No? Look at this grobbler. You don't even got hair on his chest. That's called the Rocky Raymond ring with look at, I had a mullet.
Is that you?
Yeah. That's
Holy, what are you, about 15 there?
Yeah, in the corner I got the bear cane set up.
Holy Christ, Rocky.
That was my first pro wrestling picture in the cellar. There, I had the shag. I had the shag.
Did you do make up that ring with pieces of rope or something?
I got the poles from Seratani's. I stole the rope from the Boston Garden parking lot. And I set my own ring up. You believe it? Unbelievable.
You better believe it.
You better believe it, because I'm telling you right here, the Boston Bad Boy. That's right, the real deal. The only deal that's left. I mean, we had a couple of ones. Awesome Al Mack. He's a big guy.
You are the real deal.
Yeah, I am.
No doubt about that.
Look what I got in the mail. Look at this badge right here.
I know, the official sheriff and
that's
everything.
That's the union. I'm the sheriff.
What is that, Middlesex County?
I'm the sheriff of the union here. Sheriff. I'm the sheriff of the union. It's called the Rocky Raymond Union.
The Union of One.
We're going to throw some posters up. What are we going to do next there?
What are we doing next?
Oh, there's Rocky Raymond with the
There's
Gullish
Rocky
twins.
Raymond
Right.
again.
With the Goulash brothers. Yeah, Frank and Joe.
Frank and Joe
oh,
and the
there's
Goulash.
another one with Paul in the happier days. With the smacky deck. Those were the days of pushing the bus, boy. What do I got in my mouth?
Oh, I don't know that. You look kind of like Snoop there.
Look like Snap and Snips.
Look like Snoopy Dog.
All right, well, we're
What
going to
else,
take a little
Rocky?
short. Well, we're going to
So what are we going to do now?
Let's go to the part of the program that we call the Matt Classics from the Boston Garden.
Matt Classics.
From the Boston Garden, right here. All right, we're here at the Matt Classics from the Boston Garden, April 10th, 1976. A Russian chain match between Bruno Sammartino and the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff. And the manager at this particular time, the Captain Lou Albano, a frustrated manager in the WWF at this particular time. And then coming to the ring right now, the living legend, Bruno Sammartino, and Albano does not want to let him into the ring. Bruno Sammartino, managed by the Golden Boy, Arnold Skolin. And you're going to believe this is going to be one of the most brutal matches you're ever going to see from the Boston Garden. And our referee for this one, John Stanley. A Russian chain match. One of a kind, never had been seen before, and has not been seen up until this time in the professional wrestling profession. Ivan Koloff, this is his match. This is a Russian chain match. Captain Lou Albano vowing that he's going to bust up Sammartino tonight with this Russian chain match, one of the most brutal matches ever in professional wrestling. More brutal than a steel cage match. More brutal than a battle royale. And more brutal than a lumberjack match. And this week on the Matt Classics, you're going to see the best of Bruno Sammartino, Volume 2.
And Looney Lou Albano's trying to get his hands on Bruno now. Bruno, big boot to the midsection. Lou Albano sent railing and Ivan Koloff. Watch out. Here's our bell for our Russian chain match, but Albano's still in the ring. Big slam by San Martino. And John Stanley ushers Albano outside the ring here in Boston at the Boston Garden. Oh, you're going to see some great Matt classics this week. You're going to see the Russian chain match. You're going to see Superstar Billy Graham's first appearance against Bruno. You're going to see San Martino against Mr. Fuji. Bruno San Martino against George the Animal Steel, the Detroit Destroyer. And getting back to the action in the ring, it's Ivan Koloff jumping the gun, smashing San Martino off the top of the forehead with that Russian chain, that 15-foot long Russian chain. As you can see, Ivan Koloff cinching up on it now. As you can see, San Martino Koloff in a test of strength here with a tug of war. This match is going to be brutal, a very brutal match. And San Martino pokes the eyes of Ivan Koloff. Down across the small of the back, it's Bruno San Martino. That chain's gonna hurt. And the crowd here in Boston looking forward to this match after the many battles with Koloff and San Martino. Irish whip into the corner now. Koloff sending that corner, and they're using that chain as a tool. San Martino puts it across his throat now, and Koloff down to both knees. That steel chain around the throat of the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and referee John Stanley. Not much of a referee in this one. You're not going to be doing any counting. You're not going to be doing any pinfalls. You can only win this match by submission. The Russian chain match. Once in a lifetime match. You won't see this on cable. You won't see this on any of the tapes that are sold in the store. You'll only see this match on the great Matt Classics from the Boston Garden. And San Martino with a right hand upside the head of Ivan Koloff, and he's using that chain again as a tool as he whips Koloff into that corner. Going in with the blatant chokehold, that's Bruno San Martino, the living legend. Koloff coming right back and using the chain around San Martino's throat. And our referee John Stanley is not about to step in on these two giant men in the Boston Garden. This battle, unbelievable action, the Russian chain match. This is Ivan Koloff's match. This is the match that he wanted. And San Martino ducking nobody, being the true champion that he is. And Koloff just laying him in on San Martino, choking him, hitting on the forehead. Hard, heavy blows. And San Martino stuck in the corner now. And Koloff leaning in with that 310 pounds. And San Martino returns one of his own. Irish whip into the corner by Ivan Koloff. San Martino now hanging on them corner turnbuckles. And Ivan Koloff railing now, a reversal now. San Martino sends Koloff railing in a reversal with this Russian chain. They're using this chain as a tool. Big boot to the midsection of Ivan Koloff and San Martino now. They're using that chain around each other's throat quite frequently in this match. And Koloff outside the ring now trying to get away from San Martino. And San Martino rails him into that steel corner post. Back into the ring now, it's Bruno San Martino with another Irish whip. San Martino wrapping that chain around his fist. And he's hitting Koloff with a couple of heavy blows in the corner on the top of the head of the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, who seems to be in some heavy trouble here in the corner now. And it looks like Ivan Koloff, he may be lacerated, he may be busted wide open by this steel chain. And our referee John Stanley looks on to see if there's too much blood, if this match is going to continue. And San Martino hitting him hot and heavy with those high, heavy right hands to the top of the head of Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear, using that chain as a devastating tool now. It looks like Koloff, looks like he might be busted wide open here. And San Martino like a wild animal in the middle of the ring as he's wrapping that chain around the fist, looking for the okay from the crowd. And Ivan Koloff, the man that beat Bruno San Martino back in 1971 for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship in Madison Square Garden. And Koloff now looks a little dizzy on his feet now. San Martino, a heavy right hand to the top of the head. And Koloff busted wide open here. The blood's flowing. The blood's flowing down the forehead of Ivan Koloff. San Martino now caught the chain on the back of his neck, and Koloff down with a blatant chokehold. But as you can see, the face of Ivan Koloff, a Russian Bear, he's all bloody. He's a bloody mess now as San Martino on his back, getting choked by the Russian Bear. This match is anything but a wrestling match. This is a crazy, brutal Russian chain match. San Martino, Koloff outside the ring as they're ramming each other into the tables, into the barriers around the ring. San Martino got a chair now. Oh, he cracked him across the back of the neck now. Ivan Koloff sent reeling. And Koloff smashing San Martino with a chair. This has become a real Donnybrook here in Boston at the Boston Garden. San Martino back into the ring now. Ivan Koloff putting the boots to him hot and heavy now. And Ivan Koloff with the chain around Bruno San Martino's neck. And Ivan Koloff leaning down with that 310 pounds. As you can see, Ivan Koloff busted wide open now as our referee John Stanley checking Bruno San Martino, seeing if he's out. He may be out on his knees. And he's down to his knees now. Koloff cinching in, but San Martino hit him. He hit him with a heavy blow to midsection now. And Bruno San Martino looks to be ramming the head of Koloff. He stretched him. He's got him wrapped up with that chain. He's got him all wrapped up. And John Stanley's ringing the bell. It looks like Ivan Koloff has conceded. Yes, Ivan Koloff has submitted in the corner now. And San Martino wrapped him up more like a bull rope, more like a piece of cattle. And Bruno San Martino, the winner of this Russian chain match. Unbelievable action from the great Matt Classics from the Boston Garden. As you can see outside the ring, it's Angelo Savoli and a couple of the referees, Mario Savoli and Tom McNeely, helping out the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, along with Silvano Souza, helping out Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear.
This man weighs 450 pounds. He weighs in at 893 kilos. This man eats a lot and consumption of red meat. He is not on a diet. This man is Rico Man! Rico Man! This is Rico Man. This man, a man of big size, is coming into EPW. Rico Man, he is made of destruction. He will beat you down. He will twist you. He will take your neck and bang you down again, and then lift you up again and bang you down again. I'm the Boston Bad Boy. I got this man. He was in the mountains, in the bush. I went to the bush to get this man. He had sticks he was carving. He was carving things. He was cutting things. He was hunting animals. He was cutting their throat, drinking their blood to survive. Have you seen survival lately? You will not survive. Rico Man.
All right, we're back here. Memories of the Boston Garden. You like it so far? Well, it's only going to get better because I got some great posters from the past. You might know some of the names on them, you may not, but these posters are collectibles. We got Bedlam from Boston, we got New England Sports Promotion, we got ICW, Ring of Honor. All right, let's switch them and hitch them right here with my buddy, Mike.
Brian Danielson. Whoa.
All right, we're back here. We're back here with the posters right here, wrestling from Ring of Honor. This was an old one. Justin Thunder Liger against Daniel Bryanson. That's a collectible, so if you want to get that one too, you never know. You might find him somewhere eventually. I don't know. I got so much stuff.
Where was that, Revere?
That was, I believe, I'm going to say Revere, yeah. Somewhere in Revere.
Huh.
I think. I don't know. Here's one from the Gold Ocean Mile in Florida. I wrestled down there, and they had Buddy Gilbert on there with Argentina Rocca, and, just to put on the poster. The Gold Ocean Mile. I'll tell you a story about this show, but it's kind of nasty. And you really would think that I got the name the Boston Bad Boy, but I'm going to tell my buddies after I get off the air. The Gold Ocean Mile, Fort Lauderdale. Promoter tried to short me the money, and it's the worst thing he could have ever done because bad things happened for him.
Gorgeous George III.
Larry Zbyszko, Winthrop High School. This was when they were doing the feud with Bruno Jr., San Martino Jr. against Hans Schroeder, Ron Shaw against somebody down there, and then on the bottom we had Luscious Johnny Valiant. We had a lot of them. Faziano and Winthrop High School. Yeah, we had them all. Larry Zbyszko, Dominic DeNucci, a long time ago. Bedlam from Boston. That was another one right there.
Framingham State.
Killer Kowalski with Richard Burns and Dan Petty, the tag team champions, who got beat by the Executioners eventually, Rocky Raymond and Killer Kowalski. But this particular night, it was Killer Kowalski and I believe Johnny Valiant. And the undercards with a bunch of guys from Walter School, I believe. But, you know, a lot of good things happen back in these days. This is when you have to worry about people taking guns to the arenas and who knows what they're going to do now. I mean, the crowds that they have, is, if something ever happened now, I don't think they'd be able to control it to begin with.
Well, they don't have it. There's nobody going to run in with a gun anymore because they know it's a work.
Yeah,
It used to be, they thought it was real. That's when they did that
What
stuff.
about George Steele when they shot at him at the Frolic up at Salisbury Beach? There's another one, Lowell, I believe.
Lowell Auditorium?
Yeah, there was the big battle royal. Bruno was in there, Manuel Soto, all the guys there from, all the old timers from the WWF, Heinz Schroeder, Pete Sanchez. That was the night that the Soul Brother had to fight with David San Martino. He didn't want to do a job for him. Not Tony Ulysses, the other one, Christopher Grant. He gave Bruno Jr. a hard time until he got in the ring and he got straightened out. But, you know, what are you going to do? And those were the good old days of the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. Here's one. Here's one of Rocky Raymond show. The Boston Bad Boy and Tony Rumble against the Siberian Hammer. That's gonna be
Silvano Sousa.
Silvano Sousa was there too. Yeah, he's been there. We put him on my show. Yeah. Sweet Soul Brother, Jamie West, Princess Night Owl or whatever. Eric Sprazier, young Sprazier was on there. Yeah, that was a long, long days ago. That's when they made posters, not those paper ones. Those, you know, the ones they turned down. Well, first of all, the size of that, they won't put that size in a window anymore. So of course the smaller ones sort of worked out, but
Yeah, it won't fit in their windows.
They didn't want to block their window with these big wrestling posters. There's a young Rocky Raymond, 1983. This show was canceled because this was the same night. Yeah, it was the same night of the very first WrestleMania, and this was at IBW Hall, and I was going to be wrestling the Executioner, which was Kowalski, and then we had Mr. Wrestling and Frank Gullah and so on and so forth. But yeah, this sort of got canceled because.
This is an Elks Club.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
somewhere.
got the wrong one. No, this was at the Elks Club. Yeah, this one did happen. Look at Rocky Raymond with a 38-inch chest, 38-inch waist. Well, not too far from that now, but not no 38. This was the Sports Palace at the Palace. Yeah, Ted
Oh, I
Arcidi.
remember that one.
Ted Arcidi, yeah, we did that with, we brought all the ones in that wanted to come in. Hey, if someone wanted to come in like Ted Arcidi, he had some good credentials when he first came in. But then, you know, once you saw him wrestle, that was it.
Oh, he was horrible.
He was the shits. Yeah. But those posters were, you know, you see the difference, you know, all right? There's one of yours now, ECW. This was, you can tell us a little about this show. I believe that,
I can't see it
Yeah,
that
it's
well. It's
kinda hard to see.
Wonderland.
yeah.
Wonderland and Waltham.
Yeah, and the same guys were there too. probably
IBW
Shane
Hall.
Douglas, the Dudleys, all those guys.
Yeah.
That guy, Devon Dudley, I watched the roast the other night on Ric Flair, and he was there. He looked pretty good dressed up. He looked like an idiot.
He's working for Vince at school in
Oh, yeah?
Florida.
Oh, really?
Devon, yeah.
Oh, not. I'm talking about the other one.
Bubba?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
He was at that. This one was Chi-Town.
Beantown Bash Tour, July '98.
Yeah.
Worcester, Manchester, and Revere.
And that was the
3 days.
the size of the posters were like 11, 14.
11 by 17.
11
those
by
were.
17,
Yep.
yeah. Compared to what, you know, my posters were huge. And my posters were like $600 for 100 of them at Metropolitan Show Print. Then I got to hook up with some place down in North Carolina with the rainbow type poster. Do you see those around?
Right, yeah.
And they were a little cheaper. Yep. All right, we're back here. Memories of the Boston Guide with Mike Benasky with all the great stories from the guy, and he's thinking about some now. But we're going to go back to a couple of programs, a couple of more lineups, and then we're probably going to wrap it up. And don't forget to watch us on YouTube. Don't forget to watch us if you're in any other towns. Come on down. If you want to come down and do a show, if you have any memories from the Boston Guide, and I mean memories because we're on show number 6, and we're looking to bring back El Tremendo. We're also going to bring back another guy that we had here named Sean, and he was very good, and he's got some great stuff probably from the Boston Guide. And then we also have my friend Mark Mandrakia from the Newbridge Cafe, which had the great stuff. He has the great things with this here. This is the great stuff going on. So go down there and try some of his food. We are just full to our bellies with all the great food from there. We had a great lunch, thanks to him. sponsoring our lunch for this great Halloween show with memories of the Boston Garden. And let's go to this one here. This one here is, I believe it's Bruno Sammartino. Let's go to it right here. Alrighty, let's get going on this one. This one is a wrestling program, Saturday night, January 9th. The main event, Bruno Sammartino against Beppo Mongo. He's the big one, 325. U.S. Championship. Bruno, of course, won that match. Pedro Morales against Crusher Verdú. How do you do? My name is Verdú. That was a good one. Jose Rivera versus Guido Mongo. He was in an extra special match. That was a good payday for him. I guess he's going to some kind of thing with the Conquistadors, my friend told me. But he was in an extra special third event match. That must have been a pretty good payday, huh, Mike?
I guess.
Ivan Koloff against Chief Jay Strongbow, the Italian Indian.
It's a slobber knocker.
Bulldog Brower against Gorilla Monsoon. The Wolfman against Manuel Soto. And Vincente Promenti against Tony Marino. Mike Conrad against Joe Turco. Johnny Rods against Arnold Skaaland. And that was it for January 9th. Okay, we're ready right here with another program from the Boston Garden. February 6th, the main event again. Beppo Mongo against Bruno Sammartino. Bruno beat him again. Pedro Morales, the champion, the U.S. champion, beat the Wolfman. Ivan Koloff beat Gene Dubois. I guess that guy was the Bear Man, I believe. Jay Strongbow against Guido Mongo. Dick the Bulldog Brower. Wherever I get that Pedro, I remember that on TV, I'll never forget it. He beat him up, he did everything. I gotta get that Pedro. Tony Marino, and he took a beating that night. Blackjack Mulligan against Manuel Soto. We called him Manuel Smoko because he smoked about 17 cigarettes before he went.
Tony Marino was Batman, too.
Yeah, Tony Batman Marino against Dick the Bulldog Brower. And Manuel Soto wrestled Blackjack Mulligan, got his ass kicked. I did too a couple of times when I wrestled Mulligan, but the only thing about Mulligan was great. After he put the claw on your head, he always said thank you to you when he got out of the ring, but that's a real professional. And I was just a job guy at that time. Little Louie and Cowboy Haley meet Sky Lolo, Pick Me Up, and Little Brutus. Joe Turco against the Black Demon. I don't think he ever washed his gear. Okay. All right. That's that one. We're going. Listen, you guys out there, we got a special thing going on right now with this guy, Benasky. Okay? He started out in the beginning of the show with all these stories about Andre the Giant, Joe Turco, Vincente Promenti, the guy that announced with the chicken shit. But right now, it's time to get a match against the Saugus Community TV Championship. Cameraman, zoom in on that belt because we're going to tell you one thing right now. We might even auction it off for some, lunch money. We also here want to thank New Bridge Cafe for bringing that food down for us. We had a great lunch, we got to fill our little majoulis up here, we got to get this filled, and we got some great stuff here, too. We got some great barbecue sauce from New Bridge Cafe. That's right. You want to get some of that, go right down there. You want to get some of this, come right over here. And you know what? It's in our belly right now. We'll go right back right now to the championship match with, there it is. Not many people got one of those. That's right, but we do here. And we're going to go on right now. And we're going to kill a little bing-a-ding-a-ding and get a little bell going on here somewhere. But we'll get the bell in. We're going to get the bell in?
I'm excited.
Don't worry, my producer will get a bell in there when we do the other thing. All right, hands on. And at the count of 3, we'll get ready to rock 'em, sock 'em. Red, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Ah!
Oh, no. I lost the championship. I lost the belt to this bum. Now we got to have him back.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. We're going to get him back in a rematch. Don't you forget it. Don't you take that belt too far, okay? Because we're going to get it back. All right, we're back here. Hope you enjoyed all the things today. We had all pitches. We had all sorts of pitches, all sorts of stories, all sorts. I got my wife behind me with my brother-in-law. I tell you one thing. Yeah, she don't get out much, but she looks pretty good for 95, doesn't she? You all right back here? I think he's got anything to say to our Spanish-speaking friends in Puerto Rico. All right, you want to go?
Very scary.
He
Very.
wants to go. He
Uh-oh.
wants to go. He wants to go. He wants
Abe.
to go. You want to go home?
It's
You wanna
Abe
go home?
Ford.
Yeah, he's going home. Okay? He's going home. Okay? How's that one? You like that one, Mike?
Excellent, Rocky.
All right. Well, I want to
I think he's down for the count.
That's all right.
Thanks for having me,
I want
Rocky.
to
I
thank
really
you very much
appreciate
for
it.
coming down to
Thank
Memories
you.
of the Boston Guy. My
Thank
wife
you.
here, I got to take her home. She's got to change her Depends. And, the whole deal, it's pretty hard when you're 95, but she said she's going to cook me a good meal, but I already ate already, so I'm going to put her to bed and watch some wrestling, I guess, tonight. What's on tonight?
AEW.
Well, we'll check it out, I guess. I got nothing better to do. But I want to thank all my fans out there. I want to thank all my producers out there. I want to thank Brian. I want to thank Rachel. I want to thank the Foxy Lady. I want to thank the king of graphics, John. And I want to thank everybody for watching this great show and this great establishment. And you guys are missing it. If you live in Saugus and you don't have a chance to come down here and do something, whether it's spaghetti making, you can make anything, raviolis, we can make anything, squash, we can do
Popsicles?
anything. I got some popsicles from Mexico.
Do
I got
you?
them at BJ's.
Are
Oh,
they in
they're
the
delicious.
refrigerator?
Yeah, no, they're at my house. But
Oh,
we'll
okay.
go there momentarily, maybe and push the bus a little bit. But listen, thank you all. Come on back the next time. We'll see you next time. Mike, give us a point. Memories of the Boston Guy.